those LED pens. We were testing those.
Oh, I burned the hell out of one today.
You did. It was
It was bad.
It was crusty, crusty and crispy.
It was bad. And welcome back to the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
What's up?
Same old shit.
Yeah? Speaking of same old shit, the show's brought to you by... No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
don't
Katie.
do
That
that.
was kind of...
Katie's too sweet.
I know, but that was a funny segue. Then it's like, oh, speaking of... Oh, yeah. She's like, same old shit. So, speaking of same old
flowers.
Yes.
Because she's sunshine and flowers, unlike
hey, listen,
us.
She knows the show.
She does.
Everybody knows the show.
She knows what she signed up for.
Yeah.
So
Monarch Pine.
The show is brought
10%.
to you by Monarch Pine. No E, no S.
I didn't have it. I didn't put
You
an
said
S.
it in the pre-show and it messed me up.
Yeah, it wasn't recording.
Monarch Pine. Use code Riley Black for 10% off of her Etsy. monarchpine.etsy.com.
That's it.
There we go.
Yep.
Last week was really good, so that means I really had to mess it up this week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do we got it? We did a shout outs.
We did. All the shout outs are done. Oh wait, there's
more.
There is new people.
There are new people. Well, they made it in for the next month.
Yeah, they'll make it in for the next month.
They'll make it in next month. We'll make it up to you.
But yeah, so I mean, quick mention again, and thanks to Blake who did that contest. Because we've hit 9 new members for the month. And then that reminds me, I need to send him email addresses so that he can gift.
And when are we picking
those gift cards? I already did.
Okay.
Her name is Denise.
Oh, that's right.
I think last week I said Deb.
Yeah.
But it's
no Deb. That's why
Denise.
we didn't hear back from Deb.
And so if your name is Denise and you're our patron.
Now, if you say D nice, you get extra points.
Why?
Huh? D nice.
Just cause. What extra points is she gonna get?
That Aaron D nice.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. Well, so I had a friend named Denise, and they called her D-Nice. But I think it was before the AA run. So.
Yeah, it was before the skip, but the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways.
Our guest is like waiting. Just sitting
right?
there.
She's like, when am I going to.
Like, am I coming on? I'm over here. Don't forget about me, guys.
Who we have?
We got somebody. No.
Do you remember her name?
Yeah, of course I remember her name. I edited her short for
that's true.
Speaking of editing her short, our guest was most recently seen on LMC Laser Maker Con. And when she's not on Laser Maker Con, she can be found driving the streets in her DeLorean trying to get to 88 miles an hour.
Yes.
So that she can get to 1985 again.
Right.
Welcome to the show, That Laser Lady, Robin Faro. How's it going?
Hi. Good. It's great. You know, it's a sweltering 1,000 degrees here in Central Florida. So.
Same. Yeah.
Oh, Central Florida.
Yeah. She's. Where are you again?
Across the street, apparently.
No.
Yeah, I'm right across the street. I am northwest Orlando in not so much of a little city called Apopka.
Oh. I had.
It's the second largest city by size in Orange County, and people are moving here in droves. It's crazy.
Yeah, two of my half sisters lived in that area, in Eustis area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mount something.
Mount Dora.
Dora. There it is. The Explorer. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
See what I did there?
Yeah, we're in not a big city.
No. Nice little small city that remains nameless. We'll just call it Vero Beach so that no one knows what city exactly.
And all the locals are not happy about it.
And listen, the new people that just moved aren't happy.
I'm like, you're a newbie.
Man.
You can't be mad at other people.
Yes, I can.
Look, that's just life in Florida right now. It's no matter where you are.
Yeah.
It's doubled in population. Some places have tripled, and you can't get anywhere. You can't go anywhere. If you need something, it's sold out because they're not restocking. It's just
Yeah.
Gotta love Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently people do.
Man,
but as long as they don't New York or Florida.
I don't miss the snow.
I'm from New York.
Oh. So
Sorry.
I don't miss the snow.
No,
of
I agree.
Colorado, but going to the pool for back to school.
Yeah, it was amazing.
For 2 hours on
great.
Friday
night.
I kept getting bit by, I don't know if it was ants or what, and my legs are tore up.
Yeah.
That's
Tore
crazy.
up. I didn't even like go in the water. Like I was just sitting there,
It's
getting
funny,
video
like
every once
the
in a while.
only bit of skin she was showing, they
Yeah,
were
I
like
was wearing capris,
attacked.
and like, literally from where my capris end to where my socks started or my shoes started.
Had a
It's,
feast.
it's like there's literally like
It was a
15 or
buffet.
20 bites on like each one.
It was a white girl buffet.
It just had to. It was a weird storm just surrounding you. That's what it was.
They were all getting me. They didn't get anybody else.
Didn't get me.
You
And my
tasted
mom
You
was
were
sit-
in the water though.
My mom was sitting next to me and they didn't get her.
No.
Not as
Apparently
bad.
I'm tasty.
Yum.
What can we do? So
Florida.
I need to turn this off. This is distracting me. Sorry. Hold on. Do not disturb. Sorry. Back to
Back to the
programming.
future.
No, not Back to the Future.
Seriously, my favorite. Like I drive a Tesla strictly because I wanted something very futuristic, DeLorean-like, and I know it's nerdy. I'm okay with it.
I like
should get a
that movie too,
Cybertruck.
though.
You know, don't even,
Because
because
stainless.
I told my husband and he actually put a deposit down on a Lightning, the F-150 Lightning. And I told him a long time ago we should have put one down on a Cybertruck, but I can't. Look, $150,000 vehicle. I'm not rich. Like, who do I think I am?
True.
Like, ew.
Same.
True.
Right.
Yeah,
That
like,
machine behind
I'd rather
you
go
was
on
good.
vacations.
Yeah.
Right.
Fun fact about that though. When we were in Colorado,
Yeah.
the station I worked for had this huge truck that was like for weather to go out, and in the back seat behind the right next to our reporter, the engineers thought it was great to put a phone charger that is a flux capacitor.
Oh my God, how
Oh.
funny.
So the truck had a flux capacitor.
That's awesome.
Other fun fact that truck was so big and heavy, I couldn't get it to 88.
What was the top speed?
Man, it would depend. Going up like the mountains,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't.
No.
I was struggling at
Down,
70, maybe down. But then I was afraid because it's a lot coming down.
Because it's heavy.
It's a lot
Yeah.
coming down. Yeah,
That was a really cool truck, though.
it was. It was.
So we met in person at Next Level,
Yes.
and then
Everybody
virtually.
met in person at next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
What a great experience, though. That was my first time ever
Was it?
doing any type of convention or like going to represent any type of laser company or a subsidiary or tools or whatever. And it was just so cool to finally see everyone in person that I've been chatting with online or, had kind of been stalking for years and years. Honestly, you know, it was a really cool experience. Like it's hard to explain it when you've never done it before. So people are like, how was it? Well, you know what? It was just amazing because all of these people that I've really admired their work or, watched them do things over the years, they were there. And so that was kind of, I hate the word surreal, but it just is the only way to kind of explain that kind of experience if you've never been before.
Well, and like we can all get so close, like virtually, but it doesn't replace the in-person. You know what I mean? Like you can get pretty close and like you can talk to people and relate to people and find, people that like I don't want to say relate to, but relate to, like they're, like Stephanie and those kind of people like, like we have similar like humors or whatever, gripes or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then like seeing that person in person it's so different and it just really like I don't know,
like Jessica Jersey Girl
Yeah.
Shop. Like I thought I had seen her. We had met for the first time in Dallas, and I was like, no, Tulsa. Like we met for the first time, and I thought it was like, oh, seeing you again. No,
I'm trying to hold it.
you tried, you failed.
Oh God, wake up! It's
LMC.
that work life, trying to do all this. It's
a lot of
the
things.
struggle. It's like trying to get in enough sleep to where I'm not like this, but then also like get enough work done to where your work is
Well, it's
done.
also that we're not sitting on the couch once a week. Like
What do you
this,
mean?
like we would normally be on the couch now, either
Yeah.
bagging thingies or
Right.
or doing.
There hasn't been a lot of couch time in the last few weeks. Not enough.
I mean, not like lounging couch time.
Yeah.
Because we have, but
Right.
we've been
But it's
like,
been working.
yeah, counting
Yeah.
thingies.
True,
doing
and that like
bags,
keeps you
yeah.
like hands busy.
Yeah. Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9 to 5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon Laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/why us and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on. So how the heck did you get into the laser world? What were you doing before that?
So,
Tell
you
us
know,
that
it's my story probably is very similar to a lot of other people's, how they kind of graduated into this.
Cricket
So
or silhouette?
I had a Cricket. So I used to drive a Jeep Wrangler. I'm a Jeep girl. I've had many. I have one sitting in my driveway right now waiting to be restored. But I wanted to get a sticker that had a rubber ducky with a line through it, so people stop putting ducks on my Jeep, because I hate them. Like, I
What do
literally
you
hate them.
like? You can't be a Jeep owner and hate the
Yes,
ducks.
you can, because that is a relatively new thing, and
True.
most
I
people
thought
that have
so.
owned Jeeps for 20 plus years actually despise the ducks, because
Right.
I don't want it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it. It's going to go right into the garbage.
Right.
It's what's the new thing? It's very cutesy, very demure.
What
I
is this about? Why does
I don't
everyone
know.
keep saying that?
I don't know. It's a meme.
I've
But
seen like in just today.
Yes.
I've seen like 6 people say this very demure, very cutesy, very mindful, and I'm like, what the fuck are they talking
Mindful,
about?
I've heard.
it is a meme. It's just,
I don't know.
it's hard to explain. I don't
But
know.
it's apparently Gen Z and Gen Alpha or
Yeah.
something. They're doing it. I don't know.
I
They
love
ruin
seeing,
everything.
I love their reaction to Eminem.
Yes.
Oh, and
I
his lyrics.
love
Yes.
Because I'm
Man,
sitting
it
there
explains
banging
us
Stan
so much.
and,
Yes.
and all those songs, and like, and they're just like appalled, and I'm like, really? I'm like, wait till you get to
Yeah.
2 Live Crew.
Right.
I know, right? Gosh, the stuff that we grew up on. I have a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
and she just heard Eminem for the first time, right?
Mhm.
And she is just loving it. And I was like, well, do you want to hear something from 20 years ago? And she's like, what do you mean 20 years ago? I'm like, there was music before you were born, right? Like,
Right.
So crazy. So anyway, I wanted to make decals, right? I didn't want to buy them on Etsy, and I didn't want to. So I made one for myself. And then someone at work said, hey, Robin, can you make me one? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, it'll give me $1. That's what the vinyl costs. I'll make it. And then before long, everyone's like, well, can I get one with my name? Can I get one with my, whatever? And I was like, absolutely, I'll do it. And then someone had said to me, hey, Robin, do you think you could cut this quote out of vinyl and stick it on my Yeti? Because back in 2018, I think Yetis were still stainless. There were no colors.
Okay.
Right? So I said, absolutely. I cut out a cute quote. Like, I think it was a Father's Day quote or whatever. And she brought her tumbler over. I stuck it over there, and she was in love with it. She's like, this is amazing. This is so great. And so that's really actually the first tumbler that I ever did. But then we'll fast forward probably about 6 months, and I went and I bought myself a Glowforge because they did such a great job marketing that machine. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna buy one. I think it was $4,500. I financed it, and then I wasn't doing a whole lot with it. And I think at that point it was probably mid 2019. It was just sitting in my garage. It was really loud. It was really slow, and it scared me. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
It had, my husband's a firefighter, so it was concentrated fire, and he's like. And he wouldn't let me bring it in the house, so I could only work with it in the garage, and it's hot. So, I didn't use it very often. And then, the world started to change a little bit late 2019. So
no way.
It did, just a tiny bit. So
Wait, hold on.
something
Side
happen?
note with firefighters and Glowforge. Do you remember when your stupid
It's not stupid.
thing, what was it, a power
stupid.
washer?
Yeah, it's my pressure washer.
A pressure washer.
Had
It
a-
kept
had
leaking
a little
gas.
gas leak.
Okay.
Oh.
And so our house smelled really bad, like really bad. And I didn't know what to do. And so I called the fire department because I was worried. And, you know, I was like trying to air it out, but it like wasn't happening fast enough. I was starting not to feel well. Like I didn't know what to do. And so
I think I had already taken it outside too, before I left to work.
I think so. I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. And then, so then I called them and they came and they blamed the smell on my Glowforge.
really?
And I was so mad.
And it was gasoline. Mind you, it was probably like
So mad.
it was probably like aired out a little bit, but it was gas. Like what happened was
Yeah.
it leaked in the garage. So I took the pressure washer outside to the side of the house, but there was still the gas that had leaked
Right.
on the floor.
Yeah. And I told them that, and they went outside and they looked at it, and they did their little like
Beep 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 beep.
meter thing, and they kept doing the meter over my laser, and I'm like, it's not the laser. I'm telling you, this fume. I use this thing every day.
How funny.
That fume. Yeah, I was so mad, and
Listen,
they were
my husband's never gonna
mansplaining
watch.
me.
Yeah, my husband's never going to watch this, so I can say this with a lot of confidence. Most of those guys are stupid.
That's what
They're
I heard
just
afterwards
so
when I was so
dumb. Mad.
mad.
They're so dumb. Like,
That's funny.
I went to school with some of them in Miami-Dade. I can vouch for that.
You can.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some
I'm
of them.
sure,
Yeah.
but ones I went to school with.
Anyway, so back to what were we talking about before I stopped you?
She had just gotten her Glowforge.
Yes.
Yeah. 2019, right? The world
yes.
ended, right? The world that we knew was completely dead and gone.
Right.
And I had actually bought some ornament files from Misa, right? And so it was her little dingles, right? The ones with the little.
Yes.
That was
the infamous dingles.
The infamous dingles. And so I made one just for my family because I thought it was the cutest thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
And my Glowforge could make it, and I had still this material left over from my from the box, and that's how infrequent I used this thing. So I still had the samples. So I made one ornament, right, and I just posted it on my Facebook, and everybody was like, "I want one." Well, I want one. I want one, and I was like, "Okay," and I was selling them for $15 each, just to friends and family.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know what happened. Within weeks, I was selling like $1,000 a day in ornaments. I had raised the price to $25 each.
Smart.
I was selling 50 a day, and I was just absolutely losing my mind. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Oh yeah, especially on a Glowforge. Oh my god, yeah. That's nice until you remember that you were on a Glowforge still.
Right, and then so what I did is I just real quickly looked on Marketplace for another Glowforge because I was like, I need another one. And I found a woman 45 minutes from me selling a Glowforge Pro for $1,800. When I tell you I jumped into my car and I drove out there and I even said to her, I go, look, are you sure? Because I'm going to count these hundreds out right now because I'm taking it home. And she's like, yeah. I just bought, I think she bought a Thunder or something. She's like, I'm not going to use it. And I go, I'm going to put it in my car. So, you know, I brought it home. And I would only tell the story because you're asking, because it sounds ill. But I made so much money that I was able to pay cash for a Mira 9.
There it is.
That's awesome.
I
paid cash for mine too.
There's no ill in that.
Yeah, no.
That is
not
it.
you at all.
I don't know. It sounds
awesome.
braggy and like I don't know.
No.
But
no. Yeah.
So I was like one of those. I think I was in like the first round of purchases of an Eon, right?
What shipment were you? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, I think I was shipment number 9.
I was 4.
I was just looking through my emails because I just got my email about my red line, and I'm so freaking excited.
I bet. Totally.
And I was gonna do like remember when I got this one, and now look, I have this one coming. Like they're going to be right next to each other. Like just,
Oh, nice.
I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But so, you know, I got one of those old lady mirrors, right? The old
Mm-hmm.
ones that,
Yep.
and I absolutely was petrified of this thing. It sat in
Yeah.
my garage for the longest time. I was still running the 2 glow forges. And then finally I was like, you know what, Robin? Enough. Turn it on.
Right.
Turn it on. Put the wood
Right.
in there.
Step number one.
Just ruin some stuff.
Right.
And
yeah.
that's all she wrote after that. Once I got over my fear of breaking this $11,000 machine, because I really was so scared, like I was unstoppable. And it sounds silly to say that, but it's true. It's like I put everything in it. I just put everything.
There's so many people who, and me included, who are scared because, you know, I mean, to dumb it down, I guess, like my brain is like, oh, I'm going to ruin this. And that's this much money that it cost me to buy this. And I'm wasting this and whatever. But like at the same time, that's the only way you learn. When you mess something up, you figure out how do I do it better and what do I do differently. But you have to try in order to figure out what not to do, honestly. And like we're going through that now with, you know, the F1 and the fiber, and, you know, it sucks because, and when I'm helping from afar.
Burning through inventory.
Burning through blanks and stuff, and it sucks because, like, their inventory that I sell, and I'm like, cool, take that out of inventory, move on to the next one.
I'm going to need another bookmark over here.
No, but I feel the same way about that because I'm so cheap, like, so bad, that I don't want to ruin anything, but I know that that is the cost of doing business now. And so I will, like, I didn't want to ruin this jewelry box. It's so cute. But you know what? I did, and I figured out my settings. And so now I won't ruin another one. And so
we have a ton of those LED pens. We've been testing those.
Oh, I burned the hell out of one today.
You did. It was
it was bad.
It was crusty. Crusty and crispy.
It was bad. It was bad.
He was like, look at this one. I was like, whoa, way too much power on that one.
That little, hey, listen, that little F1. That F1 can do it.
Surprisingly has a lot of power.
Yeah. Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser-ready blanks.
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry. All that, paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code Riley Black will take $50 off any order of $600 or more. It's just getting over, like, so what helped me, what forced me to not have the Glowforge as a crutch, and actually, like, use the Mira, especially because then I was pregnant and miserable. So I wanted nothing to do with any of that. I had no energy. I felt like pure trash from, like, the second I found out to the second I had him. And so, but I had already sold my Glowforge. So I had to sell it to my friend who was like literally waiting because, you know, my Mira was like 2 months later than we expected. And so by the time I got it, he's like, cool, I've been waiting for it since October. I was hoping, you know, for a Christmas rush. And it's like, nope, sorry, here you go. And so I kind of had to set it up because now it was my only laser, which I'm glad I did it that way, because otherwise I totally would have like used the excuse of I'll get to it later because it was big and it was scary. And yeah.
I mean, the machine, once I figured it out, right? Not necessarily, I wasn't doing good work. I figured it out. I figured out how to turn it on. You know, I did what everybody did when I turned it on, and I made my first cut, and it filled up with smoke because the
you didn't turn the blower on.
Right, because the Glowforge just sucked it all out, right? So I was like, well, there's another button? Like, what? No one said anything about a button. I remember watching Danny's videos to align the mirrors, and nobody said anything about a button. So I was like, oh, crap, what did I do? You know, like the first thing I did, and I broke it. You know, but, you know, once I got over that hump.
When I got mine, there was no videos. It was like a 30-page email that Danny sent of how to align the mirrors.
Oh, my God.
And if it wasn't for this guy, there was no way
luckily, there were pictures, and she read it a few times.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
That's so funny.
And that first little pulse. And you see that.
It's like scary, but it's also like really cool.
And I think for me too, like my husband made me so afraid. He's like, don't burn down the house. You know, I was like, okay, I'm going to try not to. Like, that's not the goal.
I'm going to do my best, honey.
We're all going to live. It's going to be okay.
Right.
So, I mean, the journey has been amazing. And I don't think that I could have made it to where I am right now had I not taken all of those steps to get here, because I really learned some valuable lessons. I learned what to do, what not to do, to really stay calm in situations that a lot of people would freak out. And I think it's made me be a better like mentor. That some people see me, I don't see myself as that because I think I'm a horrible teacher, but you know, like I can answer questions and I know exactly what I'm talking about. So
yeah, that's all you need, honestly. It's taken several like friends and like I guess followers to kind of push me into that, like, oh, you know, you should sell your files. And I'm like, no. I don't know how to make like good files. And they're like, yes, you do. You can, and sell them. Yeah. And me selling files is what made it so that once my Mira showed up, I paid it off. You know, I didn't finance anything. And yeah, you just like, and same with the course, you know, Emily and Heather were like, we're doing one, you need to do one as well. And I'm like, no, like I'm self-taught. I don't know what I'm doing. It works for me, but I don't know if it's going to work for others. Yeah. And yeah, it like every day I question why people want me to help them with things, but I do know a good portion of, you know, silhouette and some things. So it's like, yeah, it was funny the other day. This girl, she was, she in the Acrylic Obsessed group, she had posted some keychains she made. And it was like this, not like a newer technique, but like paint filling the engrave. Okay. And so she did like, she did dish soap, which I've tried that method for cutting acrylic and I personally hate it. It didn't work well for me. But again, I tried it once and I was like, okay, never mind. Let's get back to my tried and true. Yeah. But she used that and then she paint filled without the masking because basically the dish soap acts as your masking. Oh. And then she used a baby wipe to get off the excess paint. And I was like, oh, and it looked like really simple and like, you know, easy to do, and it came off cleanly and it looked great. And I forget what I asked her. Oh, I don't know. I asked her some question about like her process. And she goes, not to sound weird or anything, but I can't believe you're asking me a question when it's you. And I was like, listen, I may know a lot after doing this for, I don't know, however many years, 5 years, I think, but like, I don't know everything. And, you know, especially if it's like newer, not something I do a lot, that I definitely don't know, you know, anything about that. Like, you don't ask me anything about hat patches, don't ask me anything about leather. Like, there's a lot that you could ask me that I know a little bit on wood, but I just know that I don't like it. So,
I think I used all my Glowforge samples, and then I think I bought some wood from like Smoky Hill. But don't ask me if I can pick up something from the Home Depot and use it, and how to use it, and what the settings are, and to not make it burnt. And give me a tumbler. Give me a tumbler. I'll get that.
The anxiety I would get when I used to had to go to Home Depot to get wood and trying to find like what wood can I put in my laser, and there are these huge 4x8 sheets, and I'm like, I can't get that down by myself, and then like, do I want this? And then I would get like the smaller sections, but then those were like, you're paying a lot more just because it's cut down. And when you could actually order the Columbia Forest like Home Depot wood online, that was a lifesaver.
Really,
I'm like,
was.
oh, I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to be mansplained by all these guys who are like, what are you doing with this wood? And like not wanting to cut it down, and the saw not working, and just all the things. It was a whole to do, and I did not like it. It's probably part of the reason why.
You got a text.
It's
Wait till you hear the playback.
We're like
You'll see why we're
12-year-old
laughing.
boys, and you hear every time she gets a text message. Oh my god, that's so great. Okay, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. So then, after you got your machine, because we basically know you as like, the tumbler girl, like the full wraps, like,
which is so crazy.
So where did that? How, like, at what point did the tumblers come in? Like, when did you get your pie burn? All that stuff.
So this is actually to me, it's still interesting. Like, I look back and I think, all right, how did this happen? Like, how did I become the tumbler lady? Because let's be honest, like, that's not, when I was doing this, I was making 40 to 50 12 by 12 monograms a day. And sending, like, I was cutting all the wood, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw a tumbler that was printed all the way around, right? It was just printed. I don't even know the process on that. I don't know how they do that. So I thought to myself, I bet I could do this. Like, why can't I do this, right? And so I had the hot dog roller, the smart rotary from Eon, right?
It serves its purpose, but it's not fun.
And I watched Emily's videos, and I think she did like one of those. It was a short and stubby, like, tumbler. I don't know what it was. It was a kid's tumbler. And I watched that over and over and over again. And I didn't have one of those. I just had a regular 20-ounce tapered Yeti. And so I put it on there. And since it wasn't the same circumference, it didn't work. It didn't work.
Yep.
And I was like, why is this not working? And then I remember in one of her videos to move like the little wheels. And I was like, and then it fell off. And I was like, this is not working. And then I remembered sending Emily a message. And I was like, hey, like, this isn't working for me. And I saw her using, I think it was the V3 rotary from Lens Digital. And I was like, could you tell me about this rotary? Because I can't use this thing. Like, I just wanted to put a name. Like, I just wanted to start somewhere.
Yep.
And I think I actually used your coupon code. She sent me your referral code.
Oh, really?
Years ago, like almost 3 years ago.
That's awesome.
And because I asked her, I was like, well, do you have a coupon code?
This sounds familiar now.
Yeah. Because I asked her, I was like, well, do you get any credit for this? Like, I'm buying this because you're helping me. And she's like, well, let me see what I can do. And then she sent me your code.
Yeah.
And so, I couldn't afford it. I think it was $849.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang, this is expensive. But just knowing that sometimes you have to spend money to make money, it was like, all right, Robin, what's $850? Right. You're making enough money. But again, I'm cheap as fuck. Like so cheap. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to buy this thing, and it had better print me money because I'm going to be so mad. And so, I got this rotary and I plugged it in, and I didn't have to mess with anything. And I was like, I put names on everybody's cups. Like, I was knocking on my neighbors' doors. Like, do you have a cup? Like, let me put a name on your cup. Yeah. And that's all I was doing for like months, was like just practicing, putting names on friends and family, literally neighbors. Like, I would knock on their doors. So once I got that down, once I got all the settings and really just kind of playing with stuff, and then I started ordering tumblers from Amazon because I could get them in a 6 and an 8 pack, and they were pretty inexpensive. It was like $7-8 each, and then I was just ruining them. Yeah. And then I joined a Rotary group called, God, I can't remember what it's called. I got kicked out because they didn't like me. I don't know. So, but I was like sharing my process, and what I was doing was just putting dots, like polka dots, in a line, right? And then I would run it so it would engrave on the top of the cup. And then so once I figured out I could get them to get semi-close to each other and it would look uniform, that I would then stagger the design and put a second row, and then a third row, and then a fourth row, and then a fifth row. And then what I was doing was just running cups over and over and over again until I got the design to get close enough that it looked like a real pattern.
Right. That was seamless pattern. Yeah.
Right. And like nothing was touching. It was just circles. I think I did skulls. I think I did stars. I did all of that stuff. And then I realized rather quickly that if I was going to use anything that was a circle, that I needed to stretch it once it got towards the bottom. So I stopped doing that altogether. Right. Because that was too much.
Yep. I like, literally just did one the other day. So our pest guy actually ordered, he's like, so you do tumblers, right? And I was like, yeah. And he sends me this graphic, and it was a terrible graphic. It was like, it was so pixelated, and I was like, cool, not gonna work. I'm gonna need something else. And so he gives me one, and it was much clearer, and I was like, okay, I think I can make this work. And then I was like, but, you know, there's a lot of fine detail. Not all of that is going to show up on the cup. I was like, but, you know, it'll look pretty decent. And then it was the night before he was coming back. And I was like, crap, I got to make that cup. And then John is setting up the rotary for me because he's my setter upper and breaker downer for that thing. And I realized that the graphic was a circle. And I was like, fuck. Yeah. I had never done a circle one before. I had avoided them at all costs for that reason. I know that there's a workaround. So then I looked up Heather's video where she goes over the like spreadsheet that like shows you how to basically scientifically stretch it. Yeah. And so I did. And it looks like if you look straight on, it looks great. Right. But like if to the side, you can tell that like it's stretched a little bit. And he was like, I was like, when you said that you choose tough things, I was like, you had no idea how tough you chose. But yeah, the circles, avoid circles on tumblers.
And I tell people too that it's just an optical illusion. You don't even actually have to change it at all. Right. If you just let them know, look, you're putting a circle on a cylinder, it's going to look like an oval. It's not though. But if you want me to adjust it, I will. And that's what I tell people. I give them the choice because to me, it looks weird and stretched either way. Right. So there's really no way to fix it.
That's true. They kind of look stretched either way. It's either optical illusion stretched or actually stretched. Yeah. He was happy though, so it was okay. But yeah,
that's all that matters.
Right.
He was paying, or the recipient.
He did.
So anyway,
he did pay. Yeah.
So I was in this other, I think it was called a laser rotary group. And so one of the admins of that group owns another rotary manufacturing company. I didn't know because I didn't care at the time. Like it was not what was going on. That was none of my business. Right. So basically what I was doing in this group was just sharing my process because I wanted feedback, number one. Right. And two, like that's how I kind of work through stuff is like I share the process because it helps me to listen to the feedback, to take it, to do something different, and then to share
make little tweaks.
Right, and then tweak it and then share it again. Right. So I was in that group for probably 6 months and then just doing full wraps on 20-ounce tumblers. That's it. And I was doing very basic shapes. Like I said, I think I did skulls, I did circles, I did like you know, that famous mouse head. I did stars, you know, just basic things so that I could create that pattern in Lightburn, and it was very easy to make. Right. And so I want to say that I was probably right around the 6-month mark, and I was doing full wraps just on the 20-ounce tumblers. And then Stan from Lens Digital sent me a message. And he's like, hey, I really love what you're doing with our rotary Do you want to test this new Chuck rotary that we're going to put out? And I was like, me? Like, I'm an idiot. Like,
Right?
I have showed you every single failure I have made. Like, I am not one of these like OG laser users. You know who I'm talking about.
Those
The ones
failures
that-
are exactly what though they want to know about.
Yeah. So
whether
I was
they're
like,
user error or actually with the product, you know, they
Yes.
want to know what errors are users running into, whether it's their
Yes.
fault or not. You know, that helps in
Right.
production and instructions and all of that.
Yeah. So when he said he wanted to send it to me like free, and I was
Right.
like, okay.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
you want to just give it to me?
Right.
But you know, it was a smart business decision on his end, and it was smart for me to say yes, because
Right.
it's really the tool that I needed to complete what was going to happen, right? I needed to take it to the next level. I wanted my designs to look better.
Right.
I started drawing stuff on Procreate and then turning it into seamless patterns so that it did go all the way around and that the ends touched. And I needed that. That's what I needed. That kind of took me to like the next level.
Yeah. You're
And
gonna
so
have to
that's-
show me the ways, because I've been procrastinating on full wrap tumblers for so long, and just my OCD is like strong. So like if it's off,
Same.
like just even that little bit, it's gonna drive me crazy, and I'm gonna feel like I can't charge when I need to charge for it. And
Yeah. I'm right there
so-
with you. Like, I think that's why I kind of gained the attention or the following that I did, is I really did share all of my wins and all of my great failures, because I did fail. I still fail.
Yeah.
It's just a part of my learning process, and I have to mess something up to learn the lesson. No one can tell me, hey, you can't do that. And I think that's really what pushed me towards being this weird, evil perfectionist that I am. Because when people say, hey, Robin, you can't do that. And I was like, well, watch me.
Right.
Because,
yes,
because this is a machine. I tell it what to do, right? It doesn't tell me what to do. And even the things that people that have been using these machines for 20, 30 years, and there's a lot of those kind of people out there who think they know everything. They're like, you can't do that. And then when I did do it, and they were like, how? And I said, well, watch this video. And so that's at that point, that's when I got kicked out of that other Rotary group, because I was showing a product that was brand new to the market. Wasn't even affiliated with Lens Digital. So it was then when they're like, Robin, you're just advertising. And I was like, actually, I'm doing the same thing I was doing, and your group is getting a whole lot of interaction because I'm here.
Right.
But they didn't want to hear it. They kicked me out. And then I started my own group, just again, not because I wanted any of what has happened. This is so weird to me. Like, so weird.
Right.
I can't even explain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just, I started this group and everybody came. Like,
why
how
many
are
people are in your group now?
It's like 29.6, like 29,000 people in 18 months. That is ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
that also shows you in those moments where you're like, you're sharing in this group, like you obviously frequent this group, like you get a lot from it as well. And so do people who are following your journey. And initially when you can get kicked out of something like that, it can feel like a failure. It can feel like, it feels like a personal attack. You take it personally. And it's like, you kind of, I relate to some people, like when we do have to kick people out, which is rare these days. But I relate to them in the feeling of like, you kind of like lose a piece of you a little bit. Like if you've used it for so long.
Yeah.
At the same time, like obviously that happening is the whole reason that your group exists. Not that may have happened organically down the road when you realize, okay, like I really have a lot to share. I feel like I could just do this in my own space.
Yeah.
But them pushing you in that direction, it takes a hater. I don't know who they are, if they're a hater, but it kind of feels like a little bit of a hater. It takes a hater to kind of like push you, into like like you to give you that motivation. What is it? Cat Williams, like what is his hater quote? Like if
you don't have anyone to hate, you can hate on me.
Right, yeah. If you don't have anyone to hate, you can hate on me. And, like, if you don't want the haters, like, send them over here. Like, I'll take them. Because it, like, it means that you're usually doing something right,
Right.
So,
and that's kind of like the weird thing about all of this is because I was just one person in that other group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went ahead and I made this group so that I could continue to do what I felt like I needed, it was just for me. It really wasn't for anyone else. It was like I needed an outlet that was just for me. And then to have all of these people want to be there to watch me, to cheer me on, to hate me from afar, to whatever whatever it was that they wanted to do was really amazing. And I am forever grateful for that moment, even though it felt shitty. Like I was sad. Like I was legit sad. Like why, when I'm not doing anything other than really giving back to this community that gave me so much for me to be here, was rough. And then so for like all of this now to be coming around and like
come full circle,
like paying me back for doing all of the things that everybody really needed to see, because the sad truth in our community is that so many people just take, right? And very few people are giving anything. And I was giving it all. I was giving it all. I'm like, watch me mess up so you don't have to. And that's really what it was. And like, if you know a better way, let's share information because we can all win. Like my win is your win and my failure is your win because I'm doing it for you. Yeah. So it's been really cool. I can't, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's also weird.
I know it's still weird for us. Like every moment where someone, just, I guess where we've made an impact, it's just strange to me because we're just so normal. Like we're a hot mess. Like, we don't know what we're doing most days, even when we may look like we do or we say we do. We probably don't. We're just winging it and we're doing the best we can. So it'll always be weird to me, but it's also nice because those are the moments that kind of like keep you going, that you keep sharing and you're like, oh, okay, this is helpful. This is like good for the community. Like I do know something, a thing or two,
Yeah. And I mean, there's been some bad, there's definitely been some bad. And there's some people that I have just kind of cut ties with and, just you got to distance yourself from the negativity that comes your way. And I'm human and I've acknowledged some of the negativity and I'll do it. I don't have a problem calling people out. That's not it. That just doesn't seem like the right way to go. Like I'll do it in private. I'll tell them, what a shit human being they're being, and that this is unnecessary because we're all just here to have a good time, make some money, do some really great stuff, further the knowledge in this, community and make some friends, do fun things. And I think some people lose sight of that and they just want to kind of like step on people to get where they want to be. But the thing is that always comes out. That always comes out. Your true self always comes out. And so,
so there's some piping hot laser tea with no specifics, of course. So how many tumblers do you think you have done? Do you have any idea?
Crap. So I don't think I do. So when TikTok opened up their shop, I immediately opened up a shop, right? And then right away, I was getting 20 to 30 orders a day. And, the machine takes, for me, 35 minutes is fast.
Right.
So imagine getting 20 orders.
Oh my God. You can only go so fast.
Every single day. And I don't think I looked at the number, but I know, and I think TikTok opened their shop in July of last year. I did $12,000 in sales that month.
Wow.
Just from TikTok. This is not even my Etsy. It's not even local. It's not my website. Like I get bulk orders and sometimes I'll do 300 to 400 tumblers with just a logo. but
Right.
steady on my Etsy right now. I'm probably around 150 tumblers a month.
Nice.
I don't have a TikTok shop anymore
Mhm.
because that was crazy.
Right.
Their
Well, and
shipping
didn't they
times.
they just reduced it from 3 days to 2 days, which
Yeah.
is even
Yeah.
crazier. So
Yeah, so I can't. It's hard to do customs. They're definitely not wanting to deal with the Etsy
Right.
sellers. It looks like they just want to be resellers, and that's fine.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
fine with
It
me.
works for some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
So I mean,
guess you
I'm
could
doing
do
a
that
ton.
if you had time to like stack inventory.
Yeah.
Then
And I might do
it
that
would
for
work.
Christmas. Like
Yeah,
nothing
that's
custom. I'll
true.
just, if I'm only offering like 5 or so designs, and
Mhm.
then like if I wanted to do some Halloween stuff, I'd have to do it now, and then only offer
Right.
2 or 3, and then for
Right.
Christmas do like 5. But
Yeah.
I feel like for me personally, I want to continue to stay small,
Yeah.
and I can't do that if I keep listing my stuff everywhere.
Right. Right.
So
Like we want enough money to like pay our bills
Yeah.
plus some,
Yeah.
but like I also don't want to be like I remember when Penny interviewed me like about my business. I don't
Yeah, you
want
don't
to
want-
be some huge big
No.
thing where there's all these responsibilities and all
Right.
these
No.
employees and all the like I don't want that life. Like I want
No.
it to be like big but still small. You
Yeah.
know?
Like I try to remind people, they ask me all the time, like, why? There's a where did you start? But the why that I do this is my 10-year-old son has autism. And so he needs 24-hour a day supervision. He doesn't need care. Luckily, he's a healthy kid, but he has no fear. And he will absolutely exit our house and just go find his own adventure. And so for me, it was I had to be able to stay home. I can't go get a warehouse because everyone's like, just get a warehouse and hire someone and, do all of these things. No, my husband works 24 to 48-hour shifts.
Right.
I have to be at home when the kids get home from school. Someone has to be here. I can't leave the house.
Right.
So, that's my why to stay small. That's my why that this all started.
Yep.
I can't be crazy busy. Don't get me wrong, I like money, right?
Yeah.
Like I want all of it. But
Yeah.
I'm only one person. I mean, I can hire some kids to come and scrub tumblers, but
Right.
I can't. I don't want a big warehouse. I don't want to be 6 figures. I mean, it would be nice, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like I like making tumblers in my garage. And staying home. Like I like that.
Yeah.
I want to walk out into the shop 10 to 15 times a day and press start and I got my camera set up so I can see everything on the inside. And then wash the cup, put it in a box and set pickup for tomorrow. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's a good point that you bring up is remembering your why, because even you and I, we can get like so like hung up in like a big idea and like what we want to do and all that, but then deciding whether that idea makes sense for a business needs to come back to our why. Does this get us closer to the reason we are self-employed and why we're doing this? Or does, yes, it sounds great and could it be profitable, but does it get us farther away from more time with family, more time with friends, freedom, all that kind of stuff? Because like, brick and mortar, like they seem great and they can be great money makers, but then I'm like, who's gonna work that every day? Not me.
Right.
Like,
and if we're not doing it, then
who am I paying to do it? And am I
who
paying
can
them
trust?
Am I paying them a livable wage? Do they have insurance? Am I a horrible employer because like I'm small beans, so I don't have to give them insurance, but it's also kind of shitty that I can't give them insurance. You know what I mean? So it's just it's all of those things that go into it. Yeah, and it's like figuring out like what you truly want and how do you get there while still, staying where you want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Because so many people have said, Robin, this is what you could be doing, or this is what you could be doing. Like I've even had people criticize my decision for wanting to stay small, but this is the kind of life that I want. You do what you want, right?
Yeah,
if you want to be big,
it's not
and
their life.
Yeah.
So they're the only opinions that matter are yours and your husband's and like your kids. You know, those are the ones that matter
We say
because
that
they're
all
not
the
in your
time.
situation.
No. And it just, I feel good about where I am. I feel good about all the decisions I've made leading up to this point. And that's really all that matters. That, you know, my husband gets to pursue his dream of being a firefighter, right? I get to pursue my dream of being a business owner. And I've always wanted that. I have always wanted that. I've always run other people's businesses and I've been good at it. And now I have the chance to really make something of what I'm doing. You know, like when I quit my job, my boss said, I'll see you in 6 months. You'll be back. Oof. And I was like, deuces. Like, you'll never.
The best motivation.
I'd be like, thank you so much for saying that.
Right.
Like, you will never see me again. And it's been 3 years now. And I was like, I won't even, like, he'll send me a message every so often because he wants something. And then, you know, for LMC, I sent him the link and I was like, you think I'm coming back? Like, you have no idea, like, the subsidiary, like, all the extra things I can do because I bought a laser. You know, I bought a machine to make cute things. And now all of these amazing things are happening. And you will never see me in that building, like, ever again. Like, unless I'm on vacation. I used to run hotels. And I was the executive director of food and beverage for Marriott International. And it was a crazy job. Yeah. But you will never see me in a suit with a name on my lapel ever
so
again.
Gross.
It's so gross.
So stuffy. Like when I have to when I have to get ready for the podcast, I'm like, let me fix my hair. Let me put on a little makeup. And like now that we record at night, a lot of times I wear glasses all day, and I don't want to put in my contacts for like a 2-hour recording. Right. So I'm like, glasses it is. Like just the freedom to not have to like dress up for that, because I had a corporate job where I had to dress up, and then before that I worked, as management at a grocery store, and I had to dress up for that too. Like, no, I do this so that I don't have to. I want yoga pants and t-shirts every day.
Yes.
I actually miss the streets sometimes.
You miss the streets?
I could see that. But what do you miss about it?
Just
people.
Just
I miss the people.
The people, the inner. So yes, I do miss some of my coworkers, but I also just miss the I was a news photographer for a while.
20-something years.
No, not all 20
that's true.
weren't,
That wasn't
as a photographer, but I was a photographer
about 10.
About 10 for half of it about.
Yeah.
And just miss being out there, going to a new location all the time, and just meeting new people all the time, and like everyone had a story.
Yeah.
So I miss that.
I just make my husband gossip when he gets home.
Yeah. So I would like be on those beats sometimes with house fires and stuff like that, and so it's very similar to kind of like what he sees from time to time.
Yeah, I just make him detail all the crazy things that he sees, so I feel like I can get a little bit of that action. Right. Like there's the breakdown when he gets home. I'm like, hey, what's the gossip? Because they're a bunch of girls, so they are constantly gossiping, and I'm like, really? That's amazing. Because like I know all the wives, so we all gossip, and it's like, is that really what's happening? Like, tell me more.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. But I do miss that. I miss like the socializing with, the group of people that I worked with. I miss, I worked at a large convention hotel, and we hosted the Super Bowl one year, and like,
oh wow,
it was so cool.
I bet.
But it's also so stressful to like really host those large events. So it's like there are things that I miss, but I have a 27-year-old daughter as well. So I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son, and like her formative years, I missed a lot because I was working like 80 hours a week. And so it's been really nice to be able to, I guess, get a second chance. It's not a second chance with her, but it's, I'm able to actually be the mom. Right?
Right.
I'm able to, ensure that they have all the things they need, that, everything's taken care of. Yeah.
With him and, having autism, like you have to be his advocate every point of the way, and so there's a lot more like hands-on that you need, and it doesn't allow easily for, you know, a regular job, a daytime job, or a job that's that demanding, because then you're basically putting someone else in your place, and no one else can be you. You know, no one else is going to fight for your son as much as you. So,
no, and it's true. And I'm there, you know, I drop him off and I pick him up every single day. And, you know, we're having conversations about behaviors, and, you know, I can go home immediately and rectify some of that stuff because he's very task oriented. So we just talk about it and we make a list. And if I were working my full-time job, that would not be happening. It wouldn't be happening. Like, there's no time for that. And so it's really nice to kind of have that different life and still be successful. And I look at this
success is different for everyone, because the success in your book is what you're doing now. Being able to do these tumblers, you enjoy doing them, and then also have the freedom for you and your family. And so that's success to you. And it's okay that it looks different for other people, where it's like, oh, 6 figures, 7 figures, or multi 6 figures, or, you know, whatever. And that's great for them. And you know, it's just, it looks different for everybody, and it doesn't have to make sense to, you know, like we said, anybody but you.
And I think it's important to repeat that a lot to people, because just because someone is making 6 figures, that actually doesn't make them successful. That means that they have a lot of money coming in, but you have no idea what's going out. And their quality of life, like being successful is having a good mix. My quality of life is amazing. It's way better than it was. Right. I'm making money. Right. I get to spend time with my family. It's just, it's different for everybody. And I think if people could really get a grasp on that, to be able to look at somebody who is just blowing everybody out of the water, well, are they working like 18 hours a day? Are they spending any time with their loved ones? Are they, you know, like all of these things. And so I wish that I could tell that to people who are like, Robin, you're like, I want to be you when I grow up. I'm like, actually, you don't, because my life is super hectic. Like, my life is so hectic. Like, you don't want to be me when you grow up. You want to be a better version of you, because that's what you see. Like, you don't want to be me, you know?
I mean, so I remember working with my accountant, and we were like, it was end of year, and we were talking like tax numbers and stuff. And I had made, it was like 80 or 90,000 in sales. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you see what you're actually like filing. Now, obviously there's some like deductions and stuff with like, you know, machinery and putting money back into the business, but like taxable income was 26,000. And it's like, okay, it depends on how you look at it. Like, oh my God, you made 90,000. It's like, no. I had 80 to 90,000 in sales. I took home 26. That makes a lot more sense of why like it didn't feel like 90. So, you know, like you have to look at like the whole picture, and like, again, a lot of businesses and big businesses, especially watching like Shark Tank, they're not profitable for several years. So like I saw a meme, I've seen it a lot lately, and it was something like, if your business, if you can afford to like go to lunch in the middle of the day and like pick your kids up when they're sick, or, you know, it was like these regular things. If you can do this in your business, you're successful, because there's a lot of business owners who can't even do that. So again, just defining like what your level is of success is important when you see those other people post about their levels of success. You need to look at the whole picture and make sure like, okay, does that really resonate with me and what I'm trying to do?
And I had to remind people, one of my favorite things that I did after tax season this year was to let everybody know that I spent $42,000 on inventory. Right. So no matter how much money I made last year, all they saw were all of these pictures that I would post of, you know, boxes stacked in front of my front door that UPS was coming to pick up. But this is how much I spent on inventory. So when you look at this, it looks like I'm being wildly, I'm rich. No, no. Like, you know, I'm getting deliveries that are like $6,000 worth of tumblers, you know, at $45 a pop.
Right.
I'm not making a whole lot of money off of them.
Right.
You know, it's just what the customer wants. So I try to remind people of that all the time. It makes me sad that other people post, you know, other large creators that we are familiar with like to post on how great they're doing and all this stuff that they have. And they're creating this false narrative on how successful they are, but they're using themselves as a standard for other people when their narrative is a lie. Like it's not even real.
Yeah, that's what we realized that Next Level was. How many people walked up to us and told us the reason, you know, that they enjoy us so much was because we're real. We're real about the positives, the negatives. Hell, we just did an episode a couple, you know, weeks ago, about a month ago, that was just him and I. And it's like us deciding, you know, he just applied for some part-time jobs to kind of fill in the gaps right now because things are just so expensive. And, you know, we want JR to do soccer. That was $179. And we want him to do karate so that he can learn, you know, like discipline and respect and stuff. But then I'm like, where's karate money going to come from? And,
for real.
you know, we got to get Jackson into swimming because he's 3. And, you know, so it's all these things. And it's like, you can see all of this stuff that we do, and that doesn't mean we're not successful. But right now, when shit's expensive, it's still not enough all the time, you know, and it's so up and down. And I just sharing that with people is so important so that they really get like the full picture of like how it can be. And if you're in the same situation, that you're not alone, basically.
Yeah. And even if you're only profiting, and we're talking profit, you're profiting $200 a month, right?
Yeah.
That's still profit.
I remember
that is still money you're putting into your pocket. Be happy. That's great. Like,
remember when I started my Etsy and I was like, all I want to do is like make $300 to $600 a month.
Yeah, you just wanted to be able to pay your car.
Yeah, I wanted to pay my car payment and like a couple other things. Like that was my first goal. And then all of a sudden I had a $5,000 month and I was able to put, you know, my deposit down on my Mira, and it was like, oh wait, you know, and like hell, right now I could use a $5,000 a month because without expenses that take it out, because then, you know, it's the other part too, is like I've had $10,000 months hell this year, but then I also spent like 9 on inventory and all this other just stuff, or growing this or growing that or expanding
or just packing material, like just
all of it,
all things.
Like absolutely. I had to buy a new ring light this month because my dog jumped on it and broke. Like, I don't want to spend $75 on another freaking ring light. Like, I am done. Or like my 12-year-old daughter takes my tripods to make videos. And like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't want to, you know. I don't want to spend the money.
Those, ma'am.
Like, I get it. You want to make your little dancey dance, but you know, me over here.
This tripod makes me some money.
You better go get yourself a Amazon Basic tripod for $10.
Exactly. So what do you have any like big goals? Like, where do you see you in your group and just your business and all of that, like in the next, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a couple years? I know it's hard to like, because I can't even picture like next week sometimes, but
no. But it's funny. You know, not a lot. I'm gonna say like 3 to 4 people have asked me this recently, only because things have kind of changed for me. Like, people are still surprised that I'm making stuff every day. Like,
I kind of am too.
I'm like,
so, you need a course.
You know, I'm trying. It's just that I feel like I'm such a horrible teacher that I don't even. It's hard for me to imagine
if
that
you have
anybody,
29,000 people in your group, you're not a horrible teacher.
And I think I have the worst case of like imposter syndrome that you could absolutely ever imagine, because I get up every day, I come to this machine right here, I look through my order sheet, and I'm like, all right, I have to pull 15 cups from my shelf, which is on the other side, and you know, I have to mark them all and put boxes together, and then maybe by the end of the day, I have 20 minutes where I can take 5 minutes worth of video, and I'll do some real quick voiceovers. So I think what I'm going to focus on after the holidays because I
Right.
can't get out of this now. It's already getting crazy.
Right.
Like it's
You're
too
stuck
far
in the
gone.
loop.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I can't get out now.
Right.
Is that I am starting to be contacted about doing things that I've never done before, more
Right.
on the instructional route.
Mhm.
And so I have to figure out what my style is going to be.
Right.
And I don't know what that is yet because I'm just like, hey, look at that. Let's do it like that. You know,
Right.
like, because for me, that's how I learned. I'm like, hey,
Right.
do you want to, if you want to watch this video and I'm gonna talk a little bit and the cup's gonna spin and just do what I'm doing. That's
Right.
how I do it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, just watch. What are you,
Yeah.
dumb?
I mean, in my course, I'm like, you know, it's not always, I think in my welcome video, I said something about like, it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be the best way. I'm not saying that this is the only way. This is just my way. And then sometimes I would mess up. And a lot of those times I would actually, if it made sense and I wasn't confusing the audience, I left it in there because if I messed up clicking the wrong button, and I've been doing this for years and years and years, you might click the wrong button as well. Maybe not right now, but you might a couple months from now or whatever. And I hope that you remember this moment. Oh, that's, it happened to her too. How did she fix it? That kind of stuff. So
I'm always clicking the wrong buttons.
So
pushing my wrong buttons.
No, those are the right ones. I know those.
How many kids you got? Just kidding.
Two.
So, I mean, after going to like next level and I guess the reception that I got from people really shocked me.
Right.
And I was like, how on earth do you know my name? Like,
Right.
I don't know you.
Right.
Like, you know, it was like that, what is that, King of the Hill, where Bobby's like, I don't know you. That's how I felt. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I just make cups all day. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I can understand why what I do has resonated with people.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people want to know how I do what I'm doing. And so I really am going to work on putting a course together, and I need to get it right in my head that I'm going to be asked to speak at conventions. Like, I just have to get it so that I don't like shit my pants.
I don't think that goes away. I've done the last 3 conferences and I still want to shit my pants every single time.
Yeah, like I'm like you
so,
like me?
Right. Yeah. But like you just have to, it's hard, but you just have to remember that the same thing that makes us second guess why we're there, why, you know, that like why me is the same reason that people actually want to see you do it is because all of that is you, whether we think it's all positive or not. People are drawn to that, and you'll resonate with some people and maybe not other people. You know, I've said a few times lately that like not everyone is your person, and that's okay. Like if there's some laser influencer that's just not your vibe, not your jam, okay, that's fine. But then find the ones who are, and those people will find you as well, and they'll like you whether you're imposter syndroming or you know, anxiety. I'm full of anxiety, like especially like the first class is the absolute worst for me. It takes like a minute for me to like warm up, and then I'll see, you know, it's that first light bulb moment in the class, and then all the anxiety goes, and I'm like, oh, okay, like we're good. They're going to learn something, you know. So yeah, I don't know that again you'll ever get used to it because I haven't. But each time it just gives you a little bit more boost. And again, just go to as many of those conferences as you can, because what you get from them and meeting those people that you make an impact to, like people don't say that in the groups as much. Every once in a while, and like seriously, every single time that someone does it in the groups, it will make my whole day. Where they took the time to comment on something, like I'll be posting about my course, and I hate posting about the stuff I sell because I hate feeling spammy. But like if I don't post about it, they're not gonna know that it exists to be out there to help them. And so like I spammed, you know, my course the other day, and one of my students, you know, commented and was like, if you're on the fence, you know, take this and, you know, whatever, and just some really nice words. And it's like those mean a lot, but people don't often say those
Yeah.
until they're in person. And like,
Right.
I'll take it whichever way you want to do it. That I
Yeah.
I don't expect you to, build me up every day in a Facebook
Yeah.
comment, but getting that in-person interaction and people telling you like how you've impacted them and their
Yeah.
journey, it takes the simplest thing of you answering a DM at midnight if you're
Yeah.
awake and they're
Yeah.
frustrated and they can't figure it out, or answering their question in the group when they've posted in the other groups and it's gone unanswered. That
Yeah.
makes all the difference, because I can't tell you how many times people have posted in the group and they've been like, I've been dealing with this file for 2 days and I can't figure it out. And it's something simple, and you took 2 seconds to comment, and now you just
Yeah.
saved them from another couple days of hell,
Yeah. No, and
So-
and I think that's something that I have to work on with me, is that this is very new.
Mhm.
I always wanted to be kind of behind the scenes and just work.
Right.
I've never been the one that was like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing. That was never supposed to, but now that's what this is, right? Because now I purposefully show
Right.
things. So now I am like, hey, look at me. But
Right.
but
Look
that's
what you
because
did to yourself.
yeah, I did it to myself. But that's
Right.
because people are asking. They're like, Robin,
Mhm.
can you show me this? And can you show me that? And, I don't have a problem making quick little 2-minute
Yep.
tutorials on how I set that up, or what I did in Lightburn, or how I did that. And so it's just, I have to work on my inner monologue that tells me,
Yep.
Robin, you're an idiot. Like, why are you doing this? I have to shut that off.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's fine, because I'm confident in my abilities.
Right.
Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just sometimes don't say the right words because I don't know what the stuff is actually called. Like, I think,
Yeah.
Lek from Eon he was making fun of me about stuff. He's like, that's not what it's called. And I was like, well, what's it
That's what
called?
I call it. Yeah.
Like, how about you tell me? Or,
Right.
or about any of the things, So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and he meant well. I'm just picking on him
Right.
because
Yeah.
he's so very cut and dry. Like,
Yeah.
I had one of the techs come out and install that little black box for the multi-roller so that I could use it. And he had told me that Lek warned him that my machine was busy, or not busy, that my machine was dirty. And so I literally sent Lek a message like right away. I'm like, dude, I use this thing 8 hours a day, every single day. And I'm not going to clean it because that is money dust. Like, this thing is making money. It's dirty. And I don't care. I'm like, you told him it was dirty, and he knows because him and I joke about it, because the last guy that came out, and this was a long time ago. Like, I think I had it was like a minor thing, but they wanted to come out and check it because I'm so close.
Yeah.
That he's like, well, what do you do to like clean it? I'm like, I just use compressed air. That's all I do. I blow the dust out, and that's it. And he's like, that's a great idea. I was like, I haven't even cleaned a mirror in 3 years. Like, I don't clean it. And you know what?
I barely
it
clean
works
mine, but I
fine.
also barely use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I told him, I go, you know what? I don't think that it's a coincidence that I have very few issues with this machine, and I never touch anything. Like,
Listen,
I hit it with a little compressed air. That's it.
It's always those people. It was especially in the Glowforge group. Oh, I did a deep clean and now my machine won't work. And it's like, that's why you don't do a deep clean.
Oh my God.
You just clean the things that you need to, especially like if your material isn't cutting through.
Yeah.
Yes. Clean your mirrors and your lenses. Is this whatever? Like, you don't need to take this off, take that off. Like, I get like people wanting to be like clean freaks, but that's also how you mess something up.
Yes.
So just clean what needs to be
was,
cleaned
I think,
when it needs
like,
to.
Yeah, like remember the early days of Glowforge when there were all like those Glowforge groups, and everybody was such a jerk. I felt like everybody was a jerk. And I remember telling someone, I go, there is never a good story that starts with, so I did a deep clean. And I was like, don't ever do a deep clean. Like, don't ever. And like all those poor people, like they were like, it's not a toaster. Like, just wipe some stuff. Like, don't spray wet stuff on electronics
into it.
But they didn't know, because those machines were made. They were made for people that didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Right.
I felt bad for all those people.
Yeah.
Those poor Glowforge people. I was one of them.
Oh, yeah. A lot of us were. Yeah. Which is great because that's how we got here. But So, you were very generous,
Yes.
and gave some amazing codes to everyone. The general admission code, as he calls it, will be TRBP 40 for 40% off of your Etsy. So, what's your Etsy? Drop that for them real quick.
It is that laser lady digital. That's what it's called, all one word.
Laser Lady Digital.
And it's all of my digital files.
You were, it was like cutting out, like as soon as you were like saying
all of
it.
my fun stuff.
Right. We'll have to do a lower third.
Yes.
So that
Definitely.
force them to watch it on YouTube to figure out where
Yeah.
it's at.
And if the general admission is 40,
Right? Can you imagine what
you got to
the
join the
paid
Patreon
level, right?
You got to join Patreon.
And speaking of Patreon, she's also doing she's unlocking her Patreon for 7 days.
Oh.
So this will benefit the people who listen right away, because if you're a late listener, if you listen, a week or a couple weeks later, you're
7
gonna
days
you're gonna
from
miss that.
Friday?
Do 7 days from Monday. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then that way it won't be early for our patrons.
Right, but they'll know.
But yeah, they'll know it's coming on Monday.
3-day heads
Right.
up.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. So, if you're listening to this in regular time, you should have joined Patreon. But
Right.
you can still join Patreon for future releases like this.
Right.
It's another benefit to join Patreon.
Yeah. So where can people find you? What's your Facebook group and socials and all that?
So my Facebook group is called Let's Spin It, a laser rotary group.
Nice.
And my Instagram is That Laser Lady. My TikTok is That Laser Lady. My website is thatlaserlady.com.
Of
Perfect.
course.
Luckily, I chose a very easy to remember name, and no one else had it.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending an hour with us and hanging out. You stay right there, and
thanks
you
for
guys.
inviting me.
Yes, of course. And you guys stick around for our life update coming up next. And we are back with nothing really.
We don't have shit this
We
week.
don't have much.
We kind of dropped all the bombs lately.
Yeah.
And right now the bomb is just getting course stuff done.
Yep.
Because I finally got like the last few like orders out and things that needed to be done, and now it's just orders. And I did a little bit more like cleaning up of my outline today. And yeah, then tomorrow is just more recording and finishing stuff up, and then flying by the seat of my pants and figuring out
this course
along the way. I'm excited about it though, because I was looking through like a lot of the designs and stuff that I have, and I'm excited about those and people doing them and making LEDs not scary and not having to solder them and have hot molten metal or whatever that is that you're soldering. What's the solder stuff?
I don't know. It's a soft metal because it's not a high melting point because the tip doesn't get that hot.
Right.
But I know it's super corrosive.
Yeah, and I mean you just don't have to do that. There's a lot of ways around it. You can make some really cool stuff without it. So yeah, I can't wait to show people and to finally release something I've been talking about.
And then
forever.
the early, like, they can't sign in now.
No, it's cut off now.
Yeah.
I finally I shut it off. I was supposed to shut it off Friday, but I forgot. So I shut it off today. And so you can't do the pre-sale or anything like that. I honestly don't even know when I'm going to open it up. It's going to be, right now it's just giving something to the 20 plus people who signed up.
Right.
So it won't all be finished on that August 28th date. So it's going to kind of be like my other course, at least initially, where it's, dripped gradually. Drip is what Kajabi calls it. I remember when we were going through course stuff, I was like, if I hear drip one more time, drip became moist to me. It was the worst. Yeah. Man, and Kajabi frustrated the hell out of me the other day. I spent 2 hours. It was a full hour on
something
chat over literally unchecking a button.
I was editing, so I had no concept of time.
That's true. But it's just little things like that take a lot longer than you think. But it's on its way. Help is on the way, dear, is what keeps being like the theme of everything the last few weeks. But it's on its way. I think people are going to love it, and I can't wait until it's done.
Yeah, so that we can start on the next course.
Yeah, but that one's not as scary for me. No.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, so that one for me, like, so we're also, after we finish the LED course, we're working on the next one, which is the podcast course, so that one is not as scary to me because we don't have a huge audience that's like waiting for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're gonna make it. But we're gonna make it, and then we're gonna find our audience,
right?
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I get
or
you.
It's almost
we can
like
take our time with it.
Or and then also when because people ask us all the time, how do I get started on a podcast? Right. Honestly, the whole reason I want to make one is because by this point I will have made 2 courses and we know how to do them.
Well, you know how to do them. I have no idea.
That's true. I know how to do them. But it just makes it so much easier because when someone asks, how do you start a podcast? It's not a simple 30-minute conversation. Right. It's not a lot. It's not hard. But like it like saying it over and over again, like he just talked to Jamie's aunt. Jamie used to work for Eon. Mm-hmm. He talked to her the other day. And, it was like an hour and a half. Right. And that was just barely touching the surface.
That was just.
And so, like, just basically it would be documented everything. And someone pays somewhere around $50 to $75.
It's going to be under $100.
Depending on how much content comes out. Yeah. But there will be a cheaper option where it's like, here, just pay this. We've already answered probably most of your questions, and watch this for a couple hours, and you'll at least have an idea of how we started and how it doesn't take a lot, and then what we learned along the way, so that you hopefully have to learn a little bit less for if you want to start one. Don't you start a laser one, though. I'm just kidding. You can.
You can. Then you can be on here.
Right. But yeah, so that's the next plan. But that one's not nearly as scary to me, again, because it's not like not that there's hundreds of people waiting for me to finish this one. Right. But like it's just been, it's been there for
this one's been
years.
In the works, for years.
Mm-hmm. So, and the other one's literally just out of like convenience. It's so much easier to just be like, here.
Right.
Here's all the information.
We have a course on that.
Yeah. I think
that's it. I burned some stuff today.
Yeah.
On the F1 and burned some stuff the other day on the fiber.
Even I actually used the F1 the other day trying to work on the bookmarks. Yeah. And I talked to Lisa some more today to get some tips for next time, because we've had some like inconsistent burns and we need some more consistency. So
it's my first experience with it, so still learning.
Hey, but that's how you learn. You unfortunately mess stuff up, but that's how we figure it out and learn, and hopefully we'll be making some badass stuff soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah,
sooner rather than later. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you guys for watching as always. If you're not on Patreon, if you're not subscribed to Patreon, please subscribe. $4. You get a bunch of
$4 and up.
$4 and up, and you get a bunch of extras. You get discounts.
You get that coupon code that Robin talked about. That's
right. You
more
get exclusives, than 40%. And if you sign up now, there's a deal with Blake over at Great Lakes Laser Supply.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. See? Off the dome. It's not written down anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.